about my English because I'm German speaking, but a great honor to have Mr. Szafrański, the chief of Polish mission in the West Bank, more than 30 years in the temple of the Queen Hatshepsut, supervising the excavation and restoration and the geology of the area. Mr. Szafrański is not only a scientist in Hatshepsut temple as we imagine, he is a director of the Polish archaeology in the Mediterranean, and it was a great honor for me to know him while is writing my master degree about the building activities of the Queen Hatshepsut, and I met him in Cairo, in the Polish Institute in Cairo. Personally, he is a very generous man, invited me for dinner, take me to the storage, gave me a lot of books about the temple of the Queen Hatshepsut, and we enjoyed tonight, Mr. Szafrański. Thank you.
Actually, before we start the lecture, please, we would like firstly that to say that it's a great pleasure to us to have Mr. What's your name?
Szafrański.
I like that you pronounce it, it's the best to pronounce it.
Szafrański.
And we would like to enjoy the lecture. That's why we'll let him give us all what he has got about the temple and about the Queen. Then we attack him on the questions. I know that you have that great passion about the Queen Hatshepsut, and all of us, we love this Queen so much. She has interesting temple, she is an interesting character, and he is the best to know about her. So please, firstly, would like to give you this small gift.
Oh, thank you.
Before you start, to give you the energy to give us more. Okay? Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for the introduction to gentlemen. And it's really great pleasure and honor to be among you. To be among the teachers of Egyptian history, Egyptian civilization, and I appreciate very much your hard work, because it's very important for Egyptology, and Egyptology is international. There is no borders between us Egyptologists. We are from different parts of the world, but we have the same passion. We are patient and passionate. We have passion. So we love Egypt. We love Egyptian history. We want to go deeper and deeper, to study more and more, to know more and more, and this dynamic process till the end of our life. So it's not possible to say someday, oh, I know everything. No. And this is beautiful, that we have still something to find, to see, to go deeper, to learn with, you know, this Egyptian attitude to the knowledge, to the history, and to facts. Today I'd like to say you something about our recent excavation, conservation, our Egyptological studies in the temple of Hatshepsut. How to start it? To start the projection. Yes, so this is a queen from the temple of Hatshepsut. We spoke before the lecture today about our attitude to history and to the queen, of course. And for us, the queen means Hatshepsut. Not, 2 days ago I had guests from Great Britain, and at the beginning I said, I will speak about the queen, and it means Hatshepsut, not Queen Elizabeth, because for me the queen means Hatshepsut. So this is one thing, and we spoke about our attitude to the Queen. And I said that I would like to see her clear, but without emotion. Because if I have emotion, so I could be wrong. I may say, oh, I like Queen, or I like this guy, or that building, so I do my best to support it, or to organize something good for the person or for the building. And I have no distance being in emotion. I should have distance to the Queen. And as we spoke about different people I'm talking to, my story about Hatshepsut, when I talk to scientists, is different, and when I talk to tourists, is different. So in the story to the tourists, I am emotional. Yes, I like her, and she was beautiful, and she was the best, and so on. But I try to be with a distance to know really the truth about her. So. The first slide, we have a profile of Hatshepsut from the temple, and you see, she was beautiful. We've forgotten about the general idea of Egyptian art, that the king is always beautiful, he's always young. It doesn't matter he was 80 years old or something. No, it is some kind of canon. But try to forget about the canon, and we see beautiful face, and let's stay with beautiful face. So this will be about something what we've done in recent times. So it's not possible to tell you the whole story of the temple, or about Hatshepsut and so on. So I'd like to show you what we've done in recent years, two years. Because many of you are your guides, and you need this information for your work. So this is also one of reasons why I decided to tell you something about the temple. The temple is well known. It's an exceptional building on the UNESCO list, and in almost each book dealing with history of architecture. Because Hatshepsut invented an idea of the temple, and it was not repeated. So the temple itself is an exception. In her time, it was modern building. Even today, we look at the temple and we see quite modern building. So this is why the temple is for centuries, and it will be still a very important element of the history of Egypt and of the world. You remember very well this temple from above. We are above the temple on the mountain, and to the right we have temple of Mentuhotep II, Nebuchadnezzar, who built his temple 500 years earlier than Hatshepsut. And one of reasons, I think, that she decided to build her temple close to the temple of Mentuhotep was that it's a safe place. During 500 years, nothing has happened. You know the rocks above the temple. So they are very dangerous. Something unexpected could happen tomorrow, or after 10,000 years, or after 50,000 years. We don't know, because it's geologic. And all these geological processes are very not under control. But anyway, when Hatshepsut decided to build her temple here, so she knew that the place is safe. And of course, it is only one of reasons. The main reason was perhaps that Mentuhotep introduced a new god at the end of 18th dynasty and at the beginning of Middle Kingdom, Amun. Amun, who was present in pyramid texts, but it was, without shape, without body. It was when you didn't or you are not allowed to say gep or shu or nut. So you say imen. It was some kind of replacement due to some religious reasons. It was not allowed to say in this part of pyramid text gep. So it was imen instead of gep, but it was abstract. It was the move of wind in the night. It was imen. Imen was a voice of a duck in the night, or any whisper of a day or night. So it was abstract. And Mentuhotep created person, body. So he created Amun. So Hatshepsut, who was devoted to, or she decided to be devoted to Amun-Re, so she decided to build her temple close to the temple of Mentuhotep. We know that at the time it was the feast of the valley of Nebhakatre, so second name of Mentuhotep. So it was some kind of feast festival. You know a bit about this festival before the real festival, the real feast Hatshepsut decided to create. It was beautiful feast of the valley. We'll be later about it. And here there are remains of another temple. You know, when we came here after British activity at the end of 19th century and beginning of 20th century, British mission work under Edward Naville direction. Then it was American mission, Metropolitan Museum of Art worked here under Herbert Winlock's direction. And then in the beginning of 60s, the former Minister of Culture, Dr. Okasha, asked Professor Michałowski, my teacher, to come here and to start restoration of the third terrace of the temple of Hatshepsut. So we came in the beginning of 60s, in 61. And in 62 it was small earthquake. The rocks fall down, not many, but anyway they destroyed the beginning of our restoration work here. And the professor decided to clean the whole area around the temple. And during this cleaning work, we found new temple of Thutmose III. So unfortunately for me, because I am from temple of Hatshepsut, the professor decided stop the work in the temple of Hatshepsut. We have to excavate new temple we discovered. 8, maybe 10 years they worked. We worked, and my colleagues in this area, excavating the temple of Thutmose III. Then the blocks went to the storage room and we continued our work. But it was the idea of Thutmose III, who was follower of Hatshepsut, to have his temple above the two temples, the most important element of Asasi and of the El-Bahari. So it was, let's say, political decision, and at the same time it was, you may say today, propaganda decision. It was TV decision, film decision, to have the temple above, smaller than this two, but anyway, element on top. One who came to the valley, to Asasi Valley. So first of all, Thutmose III, and then Hatshepsut, and then Mentuhotep. Well, sorry, Thutmose III. Thutmose III, yeah. And let's look to the areas which are still under restoration. So this is the so-called complex of royal calm. We have a lot of work, as you see. Here we have remains of the temple of Thutmose III. Mentuhotep is here. And we work in this area. You see blocks and here and down. And we first of all study because it's important to know where this block should be, in this place of the wall or that place of the wall. So it is not like that, you know. There are hours and hours with books, articles, drawings, measurement, and so on. So it takes time. And yeah, so this area I'm going to talk about because, oh, let's go back to the last slide. And this is Hatshepsut shrine. Here, this is on the second terrace, but the top of the shrine is on the third terrace. And, you know, my conservator said some years ago that there is something wrong in the shrine of Hatshepsut. And I have to confess, I didn't want to touch, because I knew that when I go inside and start analysis, start studying, it will be disaster. A lot of work, a lot of money, and time. I have to finish the chapel of Hatshepsut. It was the first, her father. This area, which is under restoration, the walls and so on. I have no time for Hatshepsut. But anyway, when we went inside, so we found that the facade is, you know, like that, in the direction of Nile. It was only 5 centimeters, but anyway, it was very dangerous. So it was processed. After maybe 5 years, or maybe 100 years, the wall could collapse. So we should do something. So we started with protection and stabilization of the roof of the Hatshepsut shrine. You see the slabs of the ceiling. And after examination, we realized that the slabs make great pressure on the walls. And this is one of the reasons why this facade front wall was like that. Because of the pressure of the ceiling, ceiling slabs, several ceiling slabs. So our engineers decided to make some kind of iron construction, and you see each slab, or more dangerous, those which are more dangerous and in bad condition, was lifted up ½ millimeter. But anyway, it was good to have no pressure. So if you have ceiling and you move it like that, so there is no pressure on the walls. And for this special iron construction was necessary. Each, you see the steel wire, and it's inside the slab. And then you have this mufta, because it is screw, you move this element and it goes a bit up in each place. Each slab went up, went up, went up, went up. So it was the idea, and as you see, it works. I mean, danger is not, there is no danger situation in the Hatshepsut shrine. Now, this season, we decided to cover the slabs with this artificial roof to protect the slabs and the roof of the chapel against sun. The sun is not nice. I mean, it's nice today, and it was very important for Egyptians, but it's not good for the monument. And against the rain. So this is why we have this slope, 10%. And we have this for water. You remember water not so many days ago. And when we started with the construction, it was half of the roof executed, but it helped us. I mean, half of the water which could fall down on the slabs of the shrine was on this artificial roof, went to the this corridor, this construction, and went out of the shrine and of the temple. So this is what we almost finished this season. Next time I show you how it looks. And of course, measurements, what is important, how distances between the slabs, between the artificial roof and so on. So, this, you know, for engineers, all this measurement. My wife is mathematician, so she knows better what is going on, and my engineers, they know better. But anyway, I wanted to show you how the preparation to the project. And of course, inside the chapel of Hatshepsut, we made conservation work. And you see the most, the southern wall of the chapel, which was over 100 years under the pressure of sun. And the condition of this wall was very bad. It is, here maybe I focus. Oh no, it's automatic, you know? It's not possible. Oh, now it's okay. Oh, now it's fine. Sorry. I should, of course, show the picture how the wall looked like before conservation. I showed you on the final result after conservation. But I may say it was a big hole here, and you could see sun coming inside the chapel. So we covered it. And many dislocation of blocks. So we corrected them. And we made them firm. So the wall, the southern wall inside the chapel is now beautiful and solid and firm. Another part of the decoration, you see beautiful colors inside the chapel. It's thanks to our conservators, chemicals, of course. We use different types of chemicals. Same other walls of the chapel after conservation, after cleaning and conservation. As you see here, we have Hathor and Hathor in front of Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut destroyed, you know the story. Thutmose I decided to kick her out from the temple, and it happened 20 years after Hatshepsut's disappearance. I use this expression. Hatshepsut disappeared. We know nothing about her death, about her mother. Maybe somebody murdered her. Maybe she was sent to Fayumazis, where Thutmose I constructed first harem in Fayumazis. Thutmose I decided to destroy her names, her body, her figures, 20 years after her disappearance. So it means it was political decision, not emotional. It was, the reason was not that she was his stepmother, or she was his aunt, and he didn't like her. No. You know, he waited 20 years, maybe because of her good relation with the people, with intellectuals. Thutmose I took approximately 60–70% of her government, we may say today, to his government. He was a great man, and great man doesn't say, oh, I do not like you because you work for Hatshepsut. No, I take you because you are professionals, you are good. And Thutmose I took Hatshepsut's people to his government, to his court. And, but maybe they were still devoted to Hatshepsut. So he didn't want to touch Hatshepsut because of their emotions or we don't know, complicated political situation. He waited, maybe till the end of her life she spent in this harem in Fayum. We don't know.
Excuse me, may I add something?
Yes, please.
The royal house, there is two parties. One party have a big loyalty to the Queen Hatshepsut, the other to King Thutmose II. The people of the Queen Hatshepsut, Thutmose get rid of them. they never appear in the reign of Thutmose III. But the people, some special people, have a loyalty to the King Thutmose III. They continue doing their job. We have في جزء موالي حتشبسوت، جزء موالي للملك. حتى ايفن سنموت نفسه كان عامل في مقبرته نصين على بعضهم، نص موالاه لحتشبسوت ونص مع تحتمس الثالث. الموالي لحتشبسوت من الملاط، لو حطينا البلاط ده هينزل هنلاقيه موالي تحتمس الثالث، لانه كان عارف ما يدور من الاحداث. ف تحتمس الثالث برضه كان خايف برضه من الناس اللي هي مواليه للملك حتشبسوت، فاستنى ال20 سنه اللي هم حتى ايه يتاكد تماما انه ما فيش حد او محيا الملك حتشبسوت من ذاكره التاريخ. Thank you and I'm sorry.
Yes, okay. Thank you for your comments and addition. You see the facade of the Hathor shrine. We are in the hospital, as you see, because this is there are different chemicals in these bottles. You see the pipes, and it goes inside the rock, the blocks, to make them firm. You see behind this iron construction and ceiling slabs, but of course, as I told you, facade was very important. So this is why we should not only protect it, but make it more firm. So it takes perhaps 1 month to put the liquid in different places with injection, to make it firm.
Still.
So, yes, sorry.
Don't worry.
Now let's go to the chapel of Hatshepsut. Hathor was here, and we are in chapel of Hatshepsut. As you see, it's the biggest chamber in the whole temple. And now some kind of excursion. You know, the main axis goes to the sanctuary of Amun-Re, and on the other side of the river to Karnak, to the temple of Amun-Re. But Hatshepsut, perhaps in the middle of her reign, anyway, not at the beginning, decided to create another axis. We have axis east-west, and she decided to create axis north-south, yeah. And so she decided to build new row of columns. At the beginning, we have 2 rows of columns around the whole courtyard. And she decided to have 3rd row to point out, to stress the new axis. She decided, you know, when she decided to build her chapel, and chapel of her father was the first, and the whole complex, we call it complex of royal cult. The wall stood. 3 layers of rock was in the air, but she decided to create this entrance from one side and from the other side, because more or less at the same time she created complex of Sankal complex on the other side of the corridor. So she moved the columns. We have 10 columns in row on this side, and we have 9 on this side. So she moved the columns to create the entrance and to create the new axis. So the temple, you know, sometimes it's out of lecture, I may say. It is what I'm saying now. It is for tourists. At the end of her reign, we had temple of Amun-Re, Rehorachte, and Hatshepsut. And for these guys on the other side of the river in Karnak, they said, no, it's too much. This lady is crazy. She created a temple because it's a small temple inside a big temple. She created something what is not possible. Of course, Rehorachte, it's okay. Anubis shrine, upper, lower, Hathor shrine, Amun-Re, it's okay. But Hatshepsut on the same level as God. So let's see inside the temple of Hatshepsut. You see, it looks like Old Kingdom mastaba. We have rows of offering bearers on both sides. We have Fel's door in the western wall, and so it was. We have this impression, and it was what Hatshepsut wanted to show. Look at me. I am at the end of rows of kings, and I took from Old Kingdom something, from New Kingdom, from Middle Kingdom something, and I put it in my temple to show that I am at the end of tradition. We know it very well. I mean, this is also psychological attitude. I want to show that my grandfather did something, and my uncle same, and I collected, and I'm a member of the family, so I worship their ideas, their objects even. So Hatshepsut had the same attitude, and she wanted to show, look at me, I'm king of Egypt, and I'm like my predecessors in Old Kingdom, in Middle Kingdom. So this is why we have many similar examples showing that Hatshepsut took something from her predecessors. Here we have Old Kingdom. The best analogy, the best parallel is time of Pepi II. We have mastabas from that time, and we know, I mean, examining the representation, we see that it was from her time. Now another big problem connected with conservation. So this is a map of the wall, west wall, with Fel's door. With different colors we indicate missing blocks, for example, and destruction of rock, destruction of mortar. So it is a map of destruction, and then of course we will do different projects, even projects of conservation, because of course when we have no blocks, we have looked for blocks. For this wall we have now today 21 new blocks, so it will be easier to put new blocks and remove all this which are artificial. But it's a different treatment of stone, limestone, and different treatment for polychromic colors and mortar. So different ideas, different projects after, of course, analysis of the wall. Another problem, a big problem, is connected with the ceiling. As you know, ceiling of the chapel of Hatshepsut is decorated with the so-called, with stars, of course, and representation of hours, day hours and the night hours. And Hatshepsut is present in each hour, 6 hours of the night, 12 hours of the night, and 12 hours of the day. She is represented here. And hours, personification of hours, the Awini, were destroyed in Amarna time. And, but the documentation of the ceiling, here we have orthophoto picture made with Leica laser in the so-called 3D method. So, you know, this conjunction is getting like that, like that.
3-dimension.
Yeah, 3-dimension. And it was, because, you know, ceiling is a vaulted ceiling. So after this documentation, we may have flat photo without any movement of it. So everything is straight and clear and so on. So it is one part of the ceiling and the other part as well. But you see there's a missing part of the ceiling. Now we have 40% of this missing part. And we are able to restore. We do it the same way as we did in different places of the temple. So artificial volute, artificial construction, and you know, fragments will be added or included into this, like good things in cake, but in their real position. After the study of the whole scene, so we have this, let's say, islands of decoration. Many fragments from the ceiling we found during excavation. You know that in the chapel of Hatshepsut, in Coptic time, it was a church. And the church, Christians at the time, they didn't want to have original decoration. So they covered it with the thin layer of mortar, the so-called gesso. When Nabil came and he started his work, he decided to clean the walls. So from our point of view, it was crime to destroy church, 700 years building, to destroy Coptic decoration, to get pharaoh decoration.
Or at least he made documentation and more photos and facsimiles.
He didn't do that. That's a problem. But you know, I have to confess, deep in my heart, I may say thank you. Because now, with Coptic remains and looking for hieroglyphs for Hatshepsut's decoration, it will be very hard to work. So he did crime, and I tell you, now I'm saying, it was a crime, but you know, as I said, yeah, thank you, Nabil, because I have no problem, because you made crime, and I'm on the safe side. But anyway, it is very good to have these fragments of blocks. We found them inside shafts of tombs which were created later, after Hatshepsut. And it was not visible for Nabil because he didn't excavate at the time. I show you later the tombs. So we have an idea how it was in Coptic time. Of course, our attitude to what happened in Hatshepsut time, what happened in Amarna time, what happened in Ramesses II time, and in third intermediate period is the same. We are obliged, and we have to preserve all these stages and show the temple in Hatshepsut time, temple in the time of Ramesses II, the temple in time of third intermediate period, temple in the time of Coptic activity, Christian activity. And now some problems showing ceiling. Ceiling and its problems. So as you see, the ceiling was constructed of slabs. And of course, during centuries, there were small movements. So we have gaps between the blocks. We have missing parts of a ceiling, but we have mortar. And you have to protect it, to preserve it. And we have different destruction in the time of Amarna. For example, here and in the middle figure of Amun was destroyed, restored in Horemheb time. You see how it looks at the top of the wall. So the ceiling slabs with this gate, it doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't. There is no movement. Alhamdulillah. But you know, we have to be very careful. We have to measure it, to have still points to measure, to see if it's movement or not. So it is under monitoring. We still take care. You remember in 1994 it was a big rain in Thebes, and Valley of the Kings was full of water. El Tarif cemetery. Six?
No, 94.
94, yes, 94. And the body from the cemetery were on the streets of Gurna. And the rain, of course, affected Jebel. but we waited 6 years when the water penetrated through the rock, reached this chamber and same main sanctuary. So some movements were connected with this penetration, and this is why we have no decoration. Of course, it fall down, so we put it back. But anyway, you know how it is when two slabs of ceilings are under pressure. So it is something like that, and this decorated part fall down on the edges. So this is a result of it. We have it on the floor, so we put it back. We'll put it back. So different problems connected. No, it's okay. That's okay. Other problems connected with missing part of decoration and restoration in the time of Hatshepsut. So we have to prepare to preserve it, to protect it. More problems with all the scratches. Some problems with mortars are not important. But anyway, during the cleaning, we cleaned the column of inscription and the scratches appeared. So we have to preserve them as well, because it has been done in antiquity. Same with changes of Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut decided to change the text, but she didn't put new block, she put mortar. And in the mortar, the hieroglyphs were created. So now we have to protect it, because it is a document saying what Hatshepsut wanted to change, why she wanted to change. You know, it was a woman. I have many places in the temple, I see that she decided, no, I have to change this, and then this, and so on. And she was volcan of ideas, many new ideas, and we read it from the walls. We see all. At the beginning she wanted to have her daughter on the throne of Egypt, Nefrure. And that daughter disappeared, same I may say, maybe died, in 11th year of her reign. So she decided to change the figure of her daughter into the figure of her mother. And we see the traces of name of Nefrure below the name of Yahmes, of Ahmed, the name of mother. But it is the best moment to see old hieroglyphs is Saeed Nasher Relative. So 22 to 12, when you have good light and you see remains of Nefer, and Ra on the top, below the name of Yahmes. So anyway, we are obliged to...
Where is this scene exactly?
Sorry?
This scene, the X scene.
The last one? Yeah, this is from the ceiling.
Oh yeah, where is it? Both Nefrura and...
Yes, I'm talking about Nefrure. Nefrure is in front, on both sides of the entrance to the main sanctuary. So, yes, I'm talking about the Nefrure and ideas of Hatshepsut as a woman, you know. This is not connected with Nefrure, no. But I'm talking about different, about changes of her mind, of her ideas. This is an example in the text of night hour, but as an example I gave example of Nefrure when Hatshepsut wanted to have her on a throne of Egypt, and then she changed her figure into figure of her mother. And same with foundation. You see the wall, we look from the top, and you see the line of the wall. You have here the line. So wall and foundation look like that, and you see move this fragment of pavement moved inside. So we have to put it in to have the line like that. This is the line of the wall. So and same I showed you a map of destruction of the west wall. It is same with east and with east as well, yeah, but with south and north walls. Here we have southern wall of the Hatshepsut chapel, and you see missing fragments and different destruction of blocks with colors, with different colors indicated. It's, you know, more detailed, not necessary to talk about it today. But anyway, you see the work before we started with conservation. And again, we are on the top of the temple, and we are inside the chapel of Hatshepsut. You remember first door and excavation. Excavation not only because I am archaeologist, and archaeologists should examine, should search, should know something or everything connected with the chapel. Not only walls, ceiling, conservation, and so on. Pavement was very important. But not only pavement as a pavement, foundation. When we want to put something on the top, new restoration, so we should be sure that the walls are well founded. And as you see here, it is new construction with iron, the so-called béton armé, to protect the wall, because it was destroyed during the time of this activity. And there are shafts of the tombs of the third intermediate period. So when Hatshepsut disappeared, and several centuries later, people from the third intermediate period, members of royal families of the 23rd and 25th and beginning of 26th dynasty, they decided to bury themselves, to build tombs inside the temple, inside the third terrace, and inside the chapel of Hatshepsut. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tombs. Shaft and burial chamber. Shaft and burial chamber. With many new names, members of royal families. And we have about 20 new names. The tombs were robbed, so we have only fragments. We have about 1,000 fragments of coffins and cartonages. And of course, Egyptologist is glad if he has fragment with inscription. But it's not numerous, you know. I understand my colleague who looks for decoration. She likes very much cloth of this representation. I'm looking for hieroglyphs, and I'm looking for names to put them in genealogical tree and so on. Anyway, we have something. It was possible to have members of royal families of 23rd and 25th and 26th dynasty. One of the tombs, it is tomb located here, the deepest, 7 meters deep. We decided to preserve for tourists. So we arranged this glass very, very strong. You may stay here, so 10 persons could stay. And to see the shaft inside, with light which comes from the inside. Burial chamber, we decided to create in the burial chamber our storage room, because it's not visible from the top. Tourists see, oh, shaft, and then beginning of burial chamber, not more. And the more is our storage room, because we have no place in the temple, and it will be not nice to construct storage room, one, another. It is monument. So, but anyway, you have still something to store. So as you see in the burial chamber, we constructed shelves for objects, for boxes for objects. Not visible, not decorated, nothing wrong happened to the chamber. Another type of project of our restoration. You remember that Tutmosis III decided to destroy Hatshepsut. And Hatshepsut wanted to have her figures in front of the temple in the form of Osiris, the so-called Osirid figurines. Osiris monumental figures. And divided, here's an entrance. To the right, to the north, we have double crown. To the south, we have white crown, as it was in Old Kingdom. The tradition comes from Old Kingdom, Old, Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom, and the crowns to the left, I mean to the south, white, to the right of Hatshepsut, and but telling about the destruction. We think, of course, there is no text to say so, but we think that Thutmose III decided to destroy euros, which is typical element of royal ornament, and names of Hatshepsut behind her head. So what we have Osiris. We have no name, we have no royal emblem, so we have Osiris. And it was first idea to have figures of Osiris in front of the temple. Hatshepsut disappeared, but we don't know why. After some time, he decided to destroy the figures. As you remember, we found many fragments of sculpture in front of the temple in the so-called Hatshepsut Hall. Fortunately, Moses ordered to put all these fragments in one hall. So it was better for archaeologists to have everything together and then to put the figures from the fragments.
Mr. Szafrański, yes. Is there any plan to have back 10 or 15 of the 16 heads of the Queen Hatshepsut in the Metropolitan Museum of Art? Because the heads of the Queen Hatshepsut, 16 of them are in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. When Mr. Hawass started to cry about make a passport for the Queen Nefertari is one, but the Americans have 16 heads. They can give us 10. It could be nice. Do you have any plan that to do something?
I have no plan. I do my best, you know. I do what I have. I have fragments and I restore from the fragments what I have.
We don't speak about, we speak about the complete heads.
Yes, but you know it's very difficult thing. I do my best and I do my job. So as you see, new head waiting for next season to be put on the top of the body.
The head have to come back to the body because Nefertari have no body yet.
As you see, there's a documentation of this new figures, restored figures. They are original fragments. And you see it clearly when you have restored a figure. So I collect these fragments and I try to put them together. It's not possible to see the distance between them. Sometimes we have 5-3 together and we are able to restore. But the rest is artificial stone that is created. Our idea is to restore when we have last fragment of the top. Having the top of the crown, we decide to restore the whole figure. Not having, so we could destroy up and to restore up to, for example, arms, without head, without, because we are just, you know, face like that. So this is an idea. And to show, you see clearly what is old and what is new. Original fragments and restored fragments. But I think it is important, not only for us, Egyptologists. For us it's important to have all the original fragments protected in body. Before we put this fragment, we put chemicals. And then when you have this fragment in the body, so it is less chance to destroy it because it does not lay on the sand, water or something. So we put original fragments into new body. And everything is clear. Somebody, even child, could come and see, oh, this is old, this is old, this is new, this is new. And the whole figure is important result. Another thing we do, as you said, before we start to ask Metropolitan to give us heads, we have 1,500 pieces of sculptures of Hatshepsut made of granite. And in this case, the restoration is important, but it's possible only in computer. So this is a restoration of figures, kneeling figures of Hatshepsut in the computer. I'm showing you. It is not possible as it was before, when we have big fragments and we are able to create the whole figure. In this case, having not so many fragments as you see, so it would be even some kind, not honest restoration, so quite new object. So we do it in computer. We protect the fragments, original fragments, and we do restoration. So we have, in computer, we have new figures of Hatshepsut. Sphinxes, another group of objects. You know, many years ago, Wheelock found in this hall, in this Hatshepsut hall, fragments of these figures, sculptures of Hatshepsut, fragments of Osiris, of figures of Hatshepsut in the form of Osiris, and fragments of sphinxes. And he put them into chests, and during 70-something years we didn't know what happened to them. We looked through different storage rooms and so on. And one day, Francesco Tiaditi, who works in Tomb of Harwach, in front of our house, he stood up, I remember, Zbingniew! Tara! I came, and what I saw, he cleaned the tomb step by step, and in one of chambers he found wooden chests. Wheelock left with these fragments. So we are lucky, and of course we took it to the temple. Now first to the storage room, and then to the temple, and now we have 4,500 fragments of sphinxes. At the beginning I thought, oh, will be possible to restore many of them. No. You know, there are different heads, we have 8 heads, so, but the rest of the body you see here is not easy, because this is preliminary study and restoration. So they are original fragments, but this fragment, when we put, we removed it in 2012, because it's wrong position. Now we have 2 sphinxes in this preliminary stage of restoration. We restore bases, so this is a fragment of text which is in front of Hatshepsut, below her head. So as you see, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 small fragments put together. So we have Sarah, Imen, Hatshepsut. And anyway, we have the whole inscription. So we have here to put it from the verb to the feet. Excavation. So we think that sphinxes stood on both sides of this alley, leading to the first terrace, to the first rank and terrace, on both sides. And we wanted to know if there are some traces of basement, of bases. So we started with excavation, looking for the traces. Nothing. I mean, there are no traces, so we don't know the distance between the 2 sphinxes. It was like that, or maybe more, one. So we have to decide, perhaps someday, that we have to have, for example, 12 sphinxes, 6 on one side, 6 on the other side. Today I don't know. We still think about it. But anyway, we excavated the area looking for the traces of the sphinxes, but nothing, as I said. But it was very good to have new information. So we asked our colleagues with radar, and they came, and you see the map of lower terrace, lower courtyard, made by radar, with, you know, this path, so if they go like that, you know, so this is marked here. And in colors, we have different structures below the pavement. Next slide will show you more. So this is our excavation area. It is on this side, starting from this to the entrance. And this is what my colleagues with the radar conjunction found. Red and yellow means there is something strong, something, but we don't know what. Anyway, it is something. So it is some kind of indication. So let's check, let's check, let's check. We'll see. So excavation are checking of radar examination. And here you see we started with these trenches, and I'd like to show you something from this area. It's to the north, to the right when we enter the temple. This trial trenches. And what we have here, so this general idea, what we have here, some group of blocks. It was indicated in this. You see this yellow and red, so it means blocks or fragments of rock. And it is indeed. We found, unfortunately, we didn't find fragments of sphinxes, but we found fragments of sculptures made of red granite in this area. Maybe next slide will show you more. Yes, you see the layer, you see chalk. So Tutmosis III or his people decided to have, let's say, some kind of artificial material. You know, they make fire, and when you have fire and you put the granite into the fire, it's very, very hot, and then you put water, so the granite grows. So you have small pieces, and you may use them for something. So this is this crime, I may say, what Tutmosis III did in one of our trenches. But what is interesting, and you'd like to continue, we have some construction of mud brick and some kind of wall. And we have, yes, we have here the plan and wall. This is the wall here. This is the entrance of the temple. This is the way of tourists. And our trenches. And it's a wall. You stay in front of it and you tell something, say something to tourists before you start the visit. So the walls, you know, you are at the beginning, but judging from the material, we see that there are constructions which existed during the time of building of the temple. So for the first time, we have workshops. You know how it is, every one of us, we know how it is during building. So there are small and bigger constructions, storage for material, for mortar, for cement, for iron, and Oda for Gafir, Oda for workers. So this is this type of constructions. For the first time, we could perhaps say something about the organization of work. It happened before they finished the courtyard, before they finished the temple. Yes?
But maybe the mortuary temple of the king Amnufis the first, because Edward Neville found the foundation deposit of the temple in some holes, and the temple of the early New Kingdom were all of were built of mud brick. Yeah, it's supposed to be the part of the temple of Amnufis the first. That's my opinion. I don't know.
No, I don't know either. We have just fragments.
Because you know Edward Neville found the foundation deposit of Amnuf. And in Germany, it was a lecture about this in the University of Tübingen about this matter about the mortuary temple of Amnuf I. And they say we never ever found the mortuary temple of Amnuf I. But Edward Neville found the foundation deposit. Then I say the temple was built of mud brick. Edward Neville found the foundation deposit. And at the beginning of the reign of Queen Hatshepsut, she respected her ancestors, because there is two tombs in the north part, the tomb of Merit Amun, and the south part, the temple of Amnuf III, and she never touched. When you see the outline of the building of the third terrace and second terrace, because the temple was built in the beginning, was built from inside to outside. Why this part of the temple never exists. But at the end of her reign, she was strong enough to destroy the temple of Amnuf I and build her temple, first terrace on the temple of Amnuf I. That's what I like to say. Thank you.
But we have no proof for that. On the other hand, we have many documentation collected by Neville and Winlock, and they locate the temple of Amenophis I here because of what is most important: bricks with seals, and we have bricks with seals found in Rampa, found in this area. So Winlock, in my opinion, is right. Having idea that the temple of Amenophis I was here, destroyed by Hatshepsut. And Hatshepsut used fragments of bricks in the construction of Rem. But as you see, as I told, this is what we have. So it's too early to say something about the construction.
But it is an idea, just an idea, maybe.
Maybe, but today, what I have nothing. Comparing what Winlock and Neville found. They found foundation deposits. Again, let's go back. Foundation deposits are here for this construction, not here. We have nothing here. No foundation deposits. We have foundation deposits for the walls, for the terrace, for the upper terrace, and for this temple. Temple of Amenophis I, destroyed by Hatshepsut. Nothing here for this construction, and this is, as you see, the construction is very poor.
Yes.
This small wall, look at it on the plan. So what we have, very thin wall. It's not good for the for the temple. It should be more like that, and this bright. So, but anyway, thank you very much. I will dream about discovery of the temple of Amenophis I, having only, as you see, this small area excavated, comparing with what we have in front and above. Well, so, and it was perhaps the last, or no, it's not last. Again, to show the place of our excavation. So, coming back to your important remark. So the temple of Amenophis I could be constructed here in this area, and we have here this small area excavated with the traces of mud brick wall, that's all. And another project of our activity is connected with stone marks. You know, it is very interesting and very hard work. One of my students started with collection of this type of marks on blocks. He has now 800 marks, and 800, yeah, more than 800, 820 something. And he tries to know what it means. So this is nice example, because we have here many hieroglyphs, Renepet, Shen, we have Mer, but it is not always, I mean, most of the cases it's not so many information. We have just Renepet Nefer, that's all, or Nefer, and that's all. But we think that it means something. For it was some kind of indication for builders in antiquity. Today, I may say that when we have Renepet Nefer, so we may say that this block belongs to foundation. It was some kind of mark or remark or information. You know, it was well organized. So we have quarry, we have transport, we have storage room for blocks which came from a quarry. Then somebody has to decide, okay, this is big block, we'll go for foundation. This one not. This one is good for wall. Oh, and this is good for architecture. And so let's mark it. Let's put it nefer, repet nefer. So ordinary worker comes here, and he sees renepet and mer. No, renepet nefer. As I said, renepet. So this and this. And he was not able to read perhaps, but he has two signs. And he knows. Rice, for example, of the group of 10 persons. He says, Dala. And they put the fragment with this mark, and they know that it is for foundation. And the next they look, oh yes, another, Rebet Nefer. Another, we go for a foundation. So somebody who knows and made these marks. And the rest, they read the marks. So this is for foundation. Oh, this is for wall. So goes to another workshop to clean it, to make this shape and so on. So anyway, collecting the signs, we will know more about organization of work, distribution of blocks and so on. So this is another type of activity. And the last group of, or last project I want to show you today. So there are tombs which were built when the temple, both temples, 3 temples, were under Rambla or under debris, sand. Yeah. So this one behind the temple of Tutmosis III, 1 meter 20 centimeter above the level of the temple of Tutmosis III. So the temple was not completely destroyed at the time, because the next tomb we have here, when the rock collapsed down, and according to geologists who worked for Hurix Rosian, who worked for the temple of Tutmosis III, this big catastrophe happened between 1100 and 900. So the whole area, west and eastern banks and the temples were destroyed during this catastrophe. So this is why we have here tomb, because the level was covered the whole temple. Here it was after destruction, but smaller. So this tomb is dated to 25th dynasty, when the temple of Tutmosis III was destroyed, but not covered with this rubbish. Of course, we have to protect the temple, the tomb, so we clean the tomb inside, as you see, robbed. But in this rubbish, we found fragments of Szepty boxes, very typical for 25th dynasty. Fragment of an application on bead net, on the mummy, with the representation of one of sons of Horus. Same, typical for 25th dynasty. So the end of 25th dynasty. So we may date the tomb to this time. Of course, we have to clean it and to collect the remains of equipment. And of course, the next idea of director of the mission, because you know, director of the mission has many Egyptological problems, conservation problems, architectural problems, and so on. But I'm talking about myself. I have problem with storage. I have objects, I have boxes, I have fragments. Why? This is not the only reason. This is why I decided to clean the tomb and to create a storage room inside. Of course, I may say, by the way, I have to know from which time is this tomb. I had to collect even fragments of equipment. And yes, now I know more about the tomb, about the activity in the Bahari after Hatshepsut, during the third intermediate period and beginning of the Kushite time. So, fragment of cloth, of shroud, with the name of, in my opinion, Neko, but I have to wait for conservator for cloth, for textile. I'm not going to open it or to read it, but anyway, you see that's the royal name, and from the traces I may say it's Neko II. So, but Neb Gesutawi, so typical hieroglyphs and titles of king. And these birds from typical for this period coffin, so remains of course destroyed birds. But anyway, in this drawing you see it was they were on the top of sarcophag, and it is also typical for this period. So I may date the tomb destroyed, maybe when our colleague come and open, I mean make it flat with chemicals, with something, so I will read the name of king to know the date of burial ceremony. So I showed you many interesting, I hope, projects connected with the temple. So the temple is not only Hatshepsut, not only her ideas, her reliefs and so on, but we want to know what was after Hatshepsut, as you see, what happened during the time of Hatshepsut. And there are different problems connected with Egyptology texts, representations, statics of building, engineering, conservation, epigraphics, excavation of tombs. And of course I hope that the Queen appreciates our activity, and I'm sure she's today with us. You know, she looks at us, and maybe she's glad because we did some useful work. Thank you very much.
Yes, please. Questions?
Really, I have no questions. And as Mr. Szafrański said, Egyptologists are a small family all over the world. We thank him very much. Never all to learn. We learn a lot from you, and we appreciate this very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, but it will be a big thank you if it will be possible for us to be escorted by you to the site to see the real job and the real work there.
Yes.
Francis really arranged it for us. That will be something very nice. And then my question is, after these different missions being worked in place, like the British, then the Americans, and now Poland, do we consider the temple rebuilt or destroyed? And then what is the function of the third shafts of the upper room of Amon?
So you mean the main sanctuary
or
Yeah.
Or you are talking about the wall above the sanctuary?
No, about the earth shafts on the main sanctuary of Amon at the upper part of the temple.
About this wall?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, to protect. And that's a very good question, and I'm glad to explain it. Because since the time of the late Madame de Roche-Chandacourt, when she standing in front of it, she said, I don't like it. I don't like it. So the people started to think, to ask. So, first, as I said, after this small earthquake, Professor Michalowski decided to clean the area. So we found the temple, as I said. But during the cleaning, we found that Egyptian pharaonic architects decided to create platform to protect the temple because the stones fall down. And you know, every third season I clean this platform. So I take workers, and with Arabia they collect the fragments of rocks and we put them out. But anyway, after the cleaning we found that it was Hatshepsut's idea to have platform to protect the temple, and we have had height of this platform. Then we have remains in two places of original wall without decoration. And then I have not today, maybe next time I'll show you, different ideas, our ideas. So what was in the middle? Pyramid, two pylons, and pyramid, only two pylons, or one pylon. So what it was in the middle. But of course it is good to have ideas, but somebody has to prove it. We have nothing connected with pyramid, I mean no blocks.